The Crystal Cove Adventure. The stars were just beginning to twinkle over the tranquil town of Glimmer Bay, a tiny seaside village nestled between gentle hills and the vast ocean. In one of those hills, near the water's edge, lived Nia, a lively otter with a soft shimmering coat and big, curious eyes. She was perched atop her favorite rock, watching the waves lap at the shore, the cool breeze tickling her fur. Her best friend, a cheerful young turtle named Toby, was slowly making his way up the beach to join her. "Nia, look what I found!" Toby called, his voice filled with excitement. He was carrying a shiny shell in his mouth, its iridescent colors glowing faintly in the light of the setting sun. Nia turned, her eyes widening with interest. "Oh, Toby, that's beautiful! Where did you find it?" she asked, hopping down from her rock to take a closer look. Toby set the shell down gently in the sand. "It washed up near the tide pools," he said, his eyes sparkling. "But there's something strange about it. When I held it to my ear, I heard a voice. It said, 'Come to Crystal Cove.'" Nia gasped, her whiskers twitching with excitement. "Crystal Cove! I've heard of it! It's supposed to be a magical place hidden somewhere along the coast." She looked out toward the ocean, her heart pounding. "Do you think we should go find it, Toby?" Toby smiled, his eyes gleaming with excitement. "Of course, Nia. I've always wanted to go on a real adventure. Besides, I have a feeling this shell is meant for us to follow." Nia nodded, her excitement bubbling over. "Then let's go. We'll find Crystal Cove together." Nia and Toby set off along the shoreline, the sound of the waves crashing gently against the rocks guiding their way. The sun dipped lower in the sky, painting everything in soft oranges and pinks, and a faint glow seemed to emanate from the shell Toby carried. "Do you think we'll meet anyone along the way?" Toby asked, his voice full of curiosity. Nia grinned at him, her eyes shining. "I hope so. Adventures are always more fun with new friends." As they walked, the sand turned to pebbles beneath their feet, and the air grew cooler. The light from the shell grew brighter, as if it were leading them to something just ahead. Suddenly, they heard a rustling sound coming from the tall grass near the edge of the beach. "Who's there?" Nia called out, her voice friendly but cautious. From the grass emerged a small creature with a bushy tail and tiny paws. It was a field mouse named Marlo, and his eyes were wide with curiosity. "Hello," he said, twitching his whiskers. "I saw the light from your shell and followed it. It looks like magic." Toby nodded, holding up the shell for Marlo to see. "We're on our way to Crystal Cove," he said. "Would you like to come with us?" Marlo's eyes lit up, and he scampered forward eagerly. "Crystal Cove? I've heard stories about it. I would love to come along." With Marlo joining them, the three friends continued along the beach, following the glowing light of the shell as it led them to their destination. The beach soon gave way to a rocky shore, and the light from the shell illuminated a path made of shimmering seaglass, winding along the rocks and disappearing into a narrow cave at the base of a cliff. "Look at that!" Nia said, her eyes wide with wonder. "A seaglass path! I've never seen anything like it." Marlo nodded, his tiny paws pattering along the glassy surface. "It's beautiful," he whispered, his eyes reflecting the glowing colors. Toby looked at the cave ahead, his eyes filled with determination. "This must be the way to Crystal Cove," he said. "Let's follow it." The three friends stepped onto the seaglass path, their hearts filled with excitement. As they made their way through the narrow cave, the light from the shell bounced off the walls, creating patterns that danced around them, making the cave seem alive with magic. Imagine walking through a cave that glows with the light of seaglass. Would you feel excited or maybe a little scared? As they emerged from the cave, they found themselves in a hidden cove, surrounded by tall cliffs. The water in the cove shimmered with a soft, ethereal glow, and in the center of the cove was a small island covered in sparkling crystals, each one glowing with a different color. "We made it," Nia whispered, her eyes wide with awe. Crystal Cove. The three friends swam across the glowing water to the small island, their hearts pounding with excitement. As they climbed onto the shore, they noticed a large crystal at the center of the island, glowing more brightly than the others. It seemed to hum with energy, and the shell in Toby's paws began to glow in response. I think we're supposed to place the shell here," Toby said, pointing to a small indentation at the base of the crystal. Nia nodded, her eyes shining. "Go ahead, Toby. Let's see what happens." Toby carefully placed the shell into the indentation, and the crystal began to glow even brighter. A beam of light shot up into the sky, and a gentle voice echoed through the cove. "Brave travelers, you have found the heart of Crystal Cove. Your courage and friendship have brought you here, and now the magic of the cove is yours to share." Marlo gasped, his eyes wide with wonder. "Magic to share? What does that mean?" The crystal's light spread across the island, wrapping around Nia, Toby, and Marlo, filling them with warmth. The voice continued. "The magic of Crystal Cove is the magic of friendship, of wonder, and of believing in the impossible. Take this gift and let it guide you on all your future adventures." Nia felt her heart swell with joy, and she looked at her friends, her eyes glistening. "We did it," she whispered. "We found the magic." Toby smiled, his eyes filled with emotion. "And now we can share it with everyone back home." Marlo nodded, his tiny paws trembling with excitement. "This is the best adventure ever!" As the light from the crystal faded, the friends noticed something shimmering in the sand at their feet. Nia knelt down, brushing the sand aside to reveal a small, intricately carved crystal key. "A key," she said, her eyes widening. "But what does it unlock?" Toby picked up the key, turning it over in his paws. "I think this is just the beginning," he said, his voice filled with excitement. "There must be more magic out there waiting for us to find." Marlo's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Then let's find it, together." Nia smiled, her heart pounding with anticipation. "Yes, together, always." "What do you think the crystal key unlocks? Maybe we'll find out in their next adventure."